The five have escaped the horrid sticks and have planned to live on Kirin Island until George's parents return. But however, every story has a unique twist, especially ones by Enid Blyton. So you don't know what will happen next. Will one of the five be held hostage? Or will they find some more treasure? You have to watch the video to find out. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Adventurous. In today's video, we are going to continue with 5 runaway togethers, 11th and 12th chapters. But before that, let's have a recap of what we saw last episode. Previously, we saw that the famous 5 had found an incredible way to sneak away to Kirin Island without the sticks knowing. They gathered all the required necessities, executed their plan and arrived on Kirin Island. But what a shock they got! The room where they planned to sleep's roof had fallen in. They couldn't sleep there. So now that the recap has been completed, let's start with the 11th chapter, shall we? Chapter 11 on Old Wreck. It was quite a shock to have their plan spoiled. The 4 children didn't know where they were going to sleep now. Anne pointed out that the dungeons were a possible place, but no one, including Anne herself, wanted to sleep down there. Dick suggested the old wreck that had been tossed up from the bottom of the ocean last summer due to a strong storm. They went to look at it and they found the wreck was closer to the shore. Julian said that if the wreck had moved, it would probably be even more battered up, especially because of the snowstorm last winter in the second book. Julian said that although they might not be able to sleep there, they might be able to store their food there. George said that they would have to go and check. Since it was closer to the shore, they could climb up on the rocks and get to the wreck when the tide was low. They wanted to see the well which went below the sea to get a clear source of water. They found it and decided to hunt about for the entrance of the dungeons too. When they found it, it was blocked by stones. Julian said that day trippers might have come to the island, especially as the story of finding the lost gold in the island last year was all over the news. He also said that they might have come the day they saw a spire of smoke from the island. They all decided to climb on the rock to the wreck as the tide was low now. At last, they reached the wreck. To get up on the deck, George threw a rope which Julian had and they all climbed the rope. Anne didn't want to go down into any of the cabins because of the stinky smell. So the others left her and went down. It was obvious that they couldn't store food when they came. When they were climbing back up, they heard Anne shouting. They rushed to the top and Anne showed them a tiny black trunk on the other side of the deck that wasn't there last year. They wondered why a black trunk would be there. Chapter 12. The Cave in the Cliff. The 4 children carefully made their way towards the trunk. Julian pulled it out and Dick asked if smugglers were somewhere about. Julian replied saying that it might be possible. There were a lot of straps on the trunk which Julian couldn't get undone. Anne, who had deft little fingers, could however. But to everyone's disappointment, The trunk had 2 good locks, but no keys. George asked if they could somehow open the trunk. Julian said that there was no way, and although smashing it open was a solution, it would warn the smugglers that their goods had been found. They wanted to catch the smugglers at work, not warn them. Julian said that they had better get back, seeing that the tide had turned. They started climbing on the rocks again, but Dick stopped. He said that there was a cave. George replied, saying that there were no caves on Kirin, but stopped short, seeing that it really did look like a cave where Dick was pointing. They decided to go and check it out with Julian and Anne. Steep rocks guarded the entrance and half hid it. It was really nearly impossible to find except from where Dick had seen it. They went inside and the cave was a beauty. Its floor was spread with white sand and perfectly dry. Round one side of it ran a stone ledge, and Anne said that that could be a shelf. Anne also pointed upwards, and the others looked and saw that there was one place in the roof where it was broken. It was quite plain that somewhere on the heathery ground above there was a hole that led into the cave, making what Anne called a skylight. Julian said that they could drop their things down the hole. They went up to the cliff above and started hunting above for the hole. Soon they found it guarded by a thick bush of brambles. They scratched their hands trying to free the hole of the bramble plants, and eventually they got it. They went back to their things and lifted them up to where the hole was. Julian put a rope down the hole, making thick knots at intervals to hold their feet. Then George went down the hole and the others started giving her their things. Julian asked how they would get Timmy down. But Timothy had that covered. He was whining when he saw George going down and at once jumped down. George gave a shriek and then realized it was just Tim. She asked if he had hurt himself. Tim was not hurt at all though. The sand was very soft, like a velvet cushion. He gave a joyful bark. He was with George again. He wasn't going to have his mistress disappearing down mysterious holes without him following her. Soon the business of lowering things down was over and they had a grand meal. Everyone was sleepy and Dick said that there was no need to get heather for the beds as the sand was that soft. So rugs were put over the sand and everyone lay down in them. They fell asleep in a flash. So guys, that's it for this video. Wasn't it surprising when they found that random trunk on the wreck? And wasn't it a bit of luck when Dick spotted the beautiful cave? You'll have to wait until next episode though to find out what happens next. If you enjoyed, please make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications to get notified whenever I upload a video. Bye!